Hey guys, here's another unboxing video. I got the Protek Sure Start. I already have one, opened it up, set it up for my nitro buggy, that Madfire Exceed 1/8 scale. But I got one of these for my friend for Christmas. I was so excited to get mine, I forgot to do an unboxing. So since we have the same buggies, and I know sometimes it'd be a pain to set up, I was gonna set it up for him before I gave it to him. So I'm gonna use his for the unboxing, and then I'm gonna set it up for my buggy, which is identical, just a different color to his, and hopefully get all that on video. Still don't have a tripod or anything yet, but what comes in the box is fairly simple, straight to the point. Here is your brackets and your lock pins and standoffs that go on the top plate, so you can lock the buggy in place, so that way it goes to the same position every time. You get good alignment with the wheel. I know with this buggy specifically, you're going to need some washers to space the motor up and to get the wheel high enough to touch the flywheel. These that I have, I believe I got from Walmart, from a multi-pack, or Lowe's will probably do, but two of these work perfect on mine. I did have to use longer screws. I had some spare ones laying around, so hopefully I can find some more to put in this one. But other than that kit, inside of the box should just be the starter box itself, if I can get this out with just one hand. Nothing else in the box. And there it is. It's wrapped in plastic pretty good. Get into this in one hand. The instruction manual, how to put it together, various tips and whatnot, is useful. I did watch a few YouTube videos on how to set it up before I bought it, reviews and whatnot. So I honestly didn't even look at that one when I did mine. I did have to change the connectors over because it comes with the Dean's T-style connector stock, but I actually use XT90s for all of my RC cars. My E-Revo and my little Red Cat and my Sun's Red Cat and all my Chargers. Everything's been converted to XT90s. There is the starter. It's a very clean, nice looking starter box. I like the way it looks. And you push it down to make contact, starts the wheel when there's batteries in it. It does have a on-off switch on the side. That is in the on position with the dot down. That is off. Does have a brass push pin right here, like a lever, opens up the door, so there's no screws involved. Those are the dual 775 motors. You do have to run two 2S lipos, or one 4S lipos, and modify the connector. It was wired in the series, so the two 2S make a 4. Factory with Dean's. Like I said, I don't use Dean's, so I had to cut off and solder on XT90s, but he still uses Dean's, so I'll leave this alone. It'll fit right up with his setup. Now with my batteries, I had to remove this bracket, and some of my 2S batteries from Florian actually came with Velcro straps that were put together. They fit through the holes in the bottom of this absolutely perfect. So I ran it through there and then back out through this bottom one. Once the batteries drop in their little slots, drop them in here, they'll fall in through the slot here with the bracket out of the way, and you can cinch the strap up real tight. This bracket just deleted completely and it doesn't go anywhere. I did take down here where the wires come close to that wheel, down in here, I ran a zip tie on mine between those two holes, that one and that one, and just kind of loosely held the wires down just in case, because I don't want it fraying the wires, causing some issues. But I mean, all in all, I really like this starter box. I used mine for the first time today on my buggy. It's kind of lazy. It is broken in. I've almost got a gallon through it already, and it warmed up into the mid 60s a day, so engine turned over pretty easily. with the pull start, so I didn't even warm the motor up. Put it right on this box, put the igniter in it and push down, gave it a little bit of gas, it fired right up. Like, I should have waited to do my break-in on that truck with this box. Like, I was impatient and broke it in off the pull start. But this is a very nice box, and for the price is well worth it, especially if you already have batteries laying around that you can put in this, and you don't have to foot the price for the 2 batteries and a charger just to use the box. In that instance, I would stick with the pull start until you get an electric car that's going to use those batteries, or have an airplane or helicopter or something that's going to use those batteries. But these brackets, they'll go on here in the slides. There's a piece on the outside and a piece on the inside. They bolt together, and then little nipples that push up that you adjust. You put the truck up here, line it up, the flywheel with this wheel just right, and slide the knobs in to where they touch the frame, pinch together, and tighten them down, lock them in place. Same thing for the back. And then after you do that, it's perfect alignment every time you drop on it, unless one of the pins gets knocked out. But like I said, I'll try to get some of that on video, one-handed, as I move along. But I really like this starter box. If you're looking for one of these starter boxes, I would suggest these. I don't have a lot of experience with other ones, but I would definitely, I like this one so far. And if I notice anything strange going on with it over the course of using it, I'll make another video and update it. But currently, from the reviews that I saw that made me buy these, and another one from my friend, you can't go wrong. If something changes, I'll definitely update you guys, but so far I'm loving this box. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these out here and pre-assembled and kind of show you how they lay out and how they go, and then I'll be back. All right, so in the process of putting those washers, you could use shims or whatever on the actual, underneath the bulkhead, between the bulkhead and the bottom of this box. I've already taken 3 of the screws out already. His screws actually were a little longer than the ones that came in mine, so I'm not gonna have to find longer screws for his. Not sure why, but no problem. But last one's here, the other one was here, the original ones up here were there and there, if you can see the markings on them. But once you take these screws out, the bulkhead just kind of falls out. It's the only 4 things holding them in at the moment, and everything just kind of comes out as an assembly. So let's see, get this last one out and I can show you. Pull it out. It screws over here with the rest. And if you flip this up, this whole bulkhead motor assembly with those 4 screws out, that is the only thing holding this in. It just comes right out. I'm getting caught on some of these wires in this bracket. I don't want to break anything because, like I said, this one's not mine. But see, right out, which will make for extremely easy maintenance and everything as well. So like I said, so far I'm liking it. But these shims will go where the holes were underneath here. I'm just using 2 washers. They don't have to be the exact size of the bolt. Just enough to space off the bottom of this beefy plate off the bottom of the box. So you can just drop them together. Might be able to go with 1 washer. On mine I did 2 and it was absolutely perfect. Gave me a little room for error, so if the wheel starts to wear out or something changes in the geometry of the box, or whatever, I won't have to reshim it, hopefully, for a while. But I'm gonna put these here, 2 more up here, gently lower that down on it, slide it off the edge of the table so I can put the screws up from the bottom without tilting it over and the washers falling out. So I'm gonna put the bulkhead back in with the shims, and see you guys in a minute. All right, so the bulkhead's back in. If you can see the shims on this side, you definitely can on the front side over here. See them poking out. So they don't have to be absolutely perfect. They just need to be under it to raise it up nice and securely. And make sure when you're putting it back together, your wheel's somewhat centered. as best as you can get it. Now all these I left a little bit loose, so that way they go in a little bit easier, and I'll flip it upside down and I'll tighten it, you know, to their final in just a moment. But I want to make sure that this is back exactly where it was. It was pretty much all the way to the battery side of the box. And gently flip it over. The scar marks where the old bolts are should be dead on. Yep. Underneath the bolts over here and barely peeking through there, so you can see the washers peeking through the hole. So I'll tighten these down, and then that part of the setup will be done. All right, so here's all the pieces laid out that was in the bag. These are the rubber pads that will push into the top of these plates that help secure the truck from sliding back and forth on you. And just a little extra grip. I'm not sure they actually do anything or not, but it looks nice when they're popped in, where you just push those in really hard. So you want the wings facing out away from each other. It worked better for my setup. Your vehicle may require it something different. But these plates, they'll go on the top. Put them in their brackets like this, so they'll slide and they're adjustable. This piece is actually notched on one side because the bottom of these slide plates actually protrude through and has a notch as well. So as the notch slides through the top of it, this will go on the inside of the lid, match the notches up, hold it up from the inside, and two of these included screws will run through here into that. Actually, it runs through here into this, because they're tapered, these holes right here. So you'll have to hold this up as the screws go in through the top into this plate, and you want to snug it up just enough you can still move it, but it's not super tight, so that way, you know, you can make all the adjustments needed, lift the truck off and tighten it down. These little square nuts right here actually go in the channel on the underside of these brackets right here. So they'll slide up and down once you lock them in, and they're square, so you don't have to hold them still while you tighten them. And then what happens is this little nub is tapered with a hole all the way through. It's going to sit on top of these rails. One of these black bolts is going to go through the top and then grab the nut that's underneath in that channel, and then tighten those to where they still slide, but not sloppily, where you haven't had to put some force on it to move it, but it's not trying to bind up. So that way when you get the truck up there, you can pinch everything together and move it like you need to and make the adjustments. So I'm going to start putting these arms on, and then we'll move forward. All right, so I've got everything pretty much assembled. As you see, the brackets, they still slide a little tight, but it's kind of what you want. You don't want to flop them all over the place, because you want them to stay in place when you lift the truck, so you can tighten these down and finalize their position. Same thing with these little pegs. You want them to slide, but not super easy, so they don't just flop out of the way. And you're going to need a longer bit like that, so you can get down from the top side of the truck to help tighten these down. And the rubber pads on, the bolts went through the top. If I can get this open. And the little square blocks are on the underside. So that's pretty much it, very simple. And then what you'll do from here is you want to grab whatever vehicle you're planning on using this with, say like the buggy, and you put it right on the box. Now there will be a lot of moving around and whatnot. And of course, you gotta take the body off. I did this on my vehicle, on my box, and I did not have to take the motor out to get the flywheel lined up in mine. And see, I don't know if you can see down in there, which I don't have a light on me because I usually use my cell phone. But down in here, underneath the flywheel, that's the flywheel right there. Straight down, you'll be able to see the wheel itself. And if you look really close, I think you can see it. Maybe if I push down and have it come up, see, right there. And you want that to hit perfectly center of the chassis hole as well as hit perfectly center of the flywheel. So what you want to do is you want to find that perfect center, and then you want to take the alignment pieces that are here, and you want to hold the truck perfectly still and move them over to the frame on all four corners. And then once you get them in, you know, look down, double check your hole. It's recommended to do this with the engine out of the vehicle, but if you got a big enough opening and you can see it, I really don't see why you would need to. I know there's a lot of people that are going to say you absolutely have to, but it's one of those I think you can do without and be perfectly fine. So I'll try and get this centered and then lock everything down. Alright, so it looks like I got everything set up. Get the buggy off of here. One-handed. Everything appears to be adjusted. Everything's tight. Nothing's going to go anywhere. All the pegs are set. And basically, what you want to do, you just drop the truck on it. The front pegs are it's kind of hard to see that one, but you know, it's right there grabbing the frame, and you just want to scoot it forward until the back pegs drop in, and it is rock solid. Nothing sliding around front to back. It is not going to go anywhere. So everything's locked in place. I'm happy with this alignment setup, and I got the light turned on, so now you can see the flywheel and the wheel underneath. And if I push down on it, you can see that it is almost dead center, and that's what you want. And then if I can get an angle underneath, hopefully the light will pick it up. As you can see, the wheel and the hull and the chassis, if I push down on it, the gap on the front and back side are straight, so the wheel is not hitting the flywheel at an angle. It's lined up straight, so it doesn't chew anything up. But that's what you're looking for with those spacers. As you can see, push down, it engages right there for the contact switch to start the wheel, and then there it contacts the actual wheel. So engagement, wheel on right there, and the flywheel engagement there. So it's got plenty of room to wear in over the years, or however long these things take to wear out a wheel, and shouldn't have to re-shim it. I'm sorry about having my finger in front of it, but looks like we're done. So we'll get this thing fired up in the next couple days. I ran it today, but didn't have time to take a video. Had some family over, but that is the unboxing and setup of the Protek Sure Start bump box, or starter box, whatever you'd like to call it. If you liked the video, got any questions, or saw that I did something wrong, just leave a comment below. And if you like what you see, subscribe. And if you got any suggestions for new videos or content or anything, just leave it down below. I'll see what I can do. Thanks, and you guys have a good one.